Hello, guys, and welcome back to Quality Shot Tennis. Today, we've got the quarterfinal between Stefanos Tsitsipas and Lorenzo Musetti in Monte Carlo. We got the matchup in Monaco between two one-hand backhands. I personally am very excited about this one. I've got a very good feeling about this one. We're leaving behind whatever we just witnessed. It's over. I don't want to hear Mitra versus Demonor. That fulfilled zero expectations for me. Clearly Grigor is not 100%. I don't know what happened, but that match didn't happen. We're playing this one. Let's go. I've got Steph to win, but honestly, I feel very 50-50 about it. I think either player can get it done. Steph's won this tournament 3 of the last 4 times that's been played. And Musetti just took out Matteo Berrettini's 3-3. I don't think Berrettini played at his best, but Musetti is playing very well. Obviously, he beat Novak at this tournament a couple of years ago. He's just one of the best players on clay, in my opinion. Both these guys. And yeah, I think we're going to see a match of great shot making. I think I'm very excited. I remember a few years ago, Schwartzman versus Tsitsipas quarterfinal was one of my personal favorite matches I've watched at best of 3 in a best of 3 format, or just period, and but particularly in a best of 3 format. And I don't know, it kind of reminds me of this match for some reason. Musetti very much likes clay. And I guess grass as well, but he's very like Schwartzman is very, very much a clay guy. But yeah, excited for this one. I've got Steph in 3 sets. I think it's going to be an amazing match. Honestly, I've got a very good feeling about it. I hope it lives up to it. I knew today I was going to watch this one and commentate this one. And even if I didn't commentate, I knew I was going to watch it in full. Tsitsipas has a 5-0 head-to-head against Musetti, which is notable. But I wouldn't look at that and just be like, oh, Musetti has no chance, right? Personally. We'll see. But I just kind of don't feel that way. Their matches have been quite close. French Open 2022, Musetti went up 2 sets to love. Tsitsipas won in 5 sets. They played a 3-set match in Barcelona. 2023 Rome, Tsitsipas won 7-5, 7-5. They haven't played since then. 2021 Lyon, it was 3 sets. All of their matches have been extremely close. So I'm not honestly, for me, I mean, yes, it means something, no doubt. Good confidence for Tsitsipas. He's been able to get through those, but to me, it's definitely not a situation where I'm like, oh, Tsitsipas is going to win every time they play. No, I don't think so. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I've got Steph in 3 though. All right, 15 love for Tsitsipas. We're getting started up. Thank you guys for joining in. This is gonna be a good one. I'm telling you. Trust me, dude. This is gonna be a good one. As long as neither of these guys shows up the way Dimitrov did, make the one-handed backhand community a proud one. Okay. Make Federer proud. All right. Make McEnroe proud. Make Sampras proud, dude. make Rod Laver proud. Okay. This is the mantra, you know. Demonor versus Dimitrov did not happen. Let's go. Here we go. Make Rod Laver and Federer proud. Backhand goes to the forehand. That's going to go long. 40 love. How you doing, Enrico Ball? Let me know. Let me know your predictions. Let me see them. Let me see your predictions in the chat. Who you got? Who you got? Also, who do you think's winning this tournament now? Is Tsitsipas going to win it for a 4th time? Forehand is wide from Steph. 40-15. Crowd's already into it. They want to see a match. They want to see a higher level than they saw in that last one. I've got a really good feeling about this one. Forehand goes wide from Steph, 40-30. Backhand of Musetti. Forehand shank from Steph. Musetti is fighting his way back. By the way, a lot of Italian fans in Monte Carlo. That should be notable as well. So there's going to be a big crowd support behind Lorenzo Musetti. Big Italian crowd support in Monte Carlo. Backhand volley. Tsitsipas. Musetti runs for it. Can't get there. Advantage to Steph. Musetti, one of the quickest guys in the game this century. He's one of the quickest guys in the that we've seen in tennis this whole century. He is remarkably fast, and he can make some great shots. Advantage to Steph. So expect to see a lot of that. Tsitsipas' serve. And everything about his game just only gets better on a clay court. And especially Monte Carlo, he loves it here. Serve and volley, yep. And that's what I'm saying. A kick serve, it stayed up high to that backhand of Musetti. Serve and volley clutch from Steph, who just added in Goran into his coaching box, which I think is a good add. It's interesting that we're only going to start to see that in the grass court swing, but actually, maybe that makes sense, because Tsitsipas always struggles during the grass swing, and having Goran on grass, with his famous Wimbledon title and the way that he's been able to improve Djokovic's serve and the way that he serves so good. Like, it actually kind of makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, but that's what's going to happen. Yeah. All right, we got 1-0. Early doors. Serve here from Musetti. But yeah, Monaco, not too far from Italy, and there is a big Italian fan support. Musetti serves. Forehand. That's a great shot. 15 love. Let's see a great match here. Off to a better start. 15 love than the last match. I say that, and then we're going to get a double bagel. Tsitsipas beats Musetti 6-0, 6-0. Second set's going to be a golden set. Musetti's not even going to win a point. I'm hoping for a close contest. But the good news is that all of their matches have been close. So that is good news. Since like early 2021 when Musetti was a fetus. So, and that was not even on clay. Their last 5 matches, including this one, have been on clay. Serve from Musetti. Kick serve. Forehand of Steph. Goes to the back of Musetti. Short. Forehand of Tsitsipas. Comes in. Volley. Put away. 15-30. It's a good start for Tsitsipas. Musetti needs to have more oomph on his shots. Needs to get them deeper in the court. There's no doubt. Tsitsipas loves having the time on his balls, and he's on his shots, and he's able to step in and really go after and stay in control and dictate. He loves the cat and mouse that he really enjoys controlling on a clay court to serve and the bounce he gets on it is really helped out by clay as well. The time he gets on his backhand, like so many things, and the rally tolerance that often, or even like the unpredictability and like the windy nature of it. Like he doesn't mind it in Monte Carlo. Like he's had a lot of confidence playing in these conditions where maybe a lot of players struggle. Like this has been an unpredictable tournament. Like we had Rublev winning his first Masters here. We had Fognini winning here. Djokovic hasn't won this tournament since 2015. Like it's been Alcaraz hasn't won the tournament. It's been an unpredictable tournament. Except Tsitsipas has liked it here. 1540. Serve from Musetti. Forehand. Inside out. Backhand volley is going to be very good. Slice volley. 30-40. It's a very important game for Musetti to escape from. I swear, if we see another double bagel, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm not gonna mince words. I'm looking for I'm looking for Musetti to not go down early here because I'm gonna have flashbacks to the match that didn't happen just now between Demon War. Backhand Tsitsipas goes to the forehand Musetti. Forehand Tsitsipas. That's in the net. 2-0. Tsitsipas gets an early break. 2-0. Muted cheers from the crowd because they have the same thought process that I'm currently having, and that's that I don't want this to be another Demon or Dimitrov matchup. Tsitsipas off to a very good start, though. Backhand cross court Musetti goes to the backhand of Tsitsipas. Backhand down the line. Goes to forehand of Steph. Backhand. Musetti gets under it. Kind of for a half volley. That's in the net. Tsitsipas, very, very good depth of shot so far. He's got the new racket. He's hitting that forehand very well, able to stay in control. I mean, Tsitsipas on clay could be an absolute danger this year. I'm telling you. Kaboli watching on his fellow compatriot. Said he got a lock in early here because this is already a quick start for Steph. 2-0, 30 love. Tsitsipas hits a double fault. 30-15. Serve Steph out wide, forehand, Tsitsipas cross court. Again, just great depth and pace of shot. Musetti finding his way back way behind the baseline way too early, 40-15. Well, we have had now, if Tsitsipas holds here, we will have had 15 games in a row on this court with one guy winning, like, how do I say this? With both players not having won a game. Just one player has won games. 3-0. Let's see if that can change. There's been a 0 on the scoreboard for the last 15 consecutive games, is another way of saying it on this court. They said he's got a physio out. That's not a good sign either. Speaking of Italian, I can't. He's pointing to his lower body, like almost like his hamstring or his foot or something. I think he said problema, which I assume is problem. Making a very smart, educated guess there that problema is Italian for problem. They're giving Musetti just medication, apparently. So it's not going to be an MTO. They're just giving him medication, specifically just medication. So we'll see what this does. We'll say body language. Musetti doesn't look too negative. Like he looks quite calm. He looks pretty relaxed. He doesn't look like he's freaking out about it. We'll see if he can bounce back. It'd be important to get the next service game. Really good stat for Alcaraz, by the way, earlier today, which once again was a fantastic match against Feast and a really important win for Alcaraz, I thought. Um, there are only two players that have won more matches 21 years old and younger at Masters 1000 level than Alcaraz, and they are Nadal and Djokovic. Nadal has won over 100, and Alcaraz is at 70. So Alcaraz is not going to reach Nadal, but Alcaraz is at 70. Djokovic is at 75. So yeah, Nadal, Alcaraz could reach that in Madrid. I reckon that he can reach Djokovic at number 2. So it could be two Spaniards at the top of that list, Alcaraz and Rafa. If Alcaraz continues some success in Madrid and potentially here as well, racking up some more wins. Forehand inside out to the back end of Steph. The forehand of Musetti. Forehand of Steph big. Forehand of Musetti. It's going to go long. Just great pace of shot and depth from Tsitsipas. And Musetti finding himself back behind the baseline. I mean, I was expecting two very, very close matches. So far, we've seen anything but. See if that changes. Still time for this one to turn around. Forehand inside out goes to the back end of Steph. Forehand of Musetti hits over to the forehand of Steph is a great shot cross court. Forehand back to the forehand of Musetti. Back end of Steph. Cross court to the back end of Musetti down the line. Forehand slice. Steph forehand inside out. Back end lob. It's going to be put away. Musetti. 30-15. Here we go. Lorenzo Musetti on top of it. Playing a much better rally. There you go. I'd argue to say that's the best rally we've seen. It wasn't even a fantastic rally, but it was the best rally we've seen on this court since the start of the last match. Highest level from both. Because we saw nothing to cheer about in the last match. I'm not going to lie. Kick serve just misses the line there from Musetti. Almost an ace. Backhand Tsitsipas goes to the backhand of Musetti. That's in the net. 30 all. Needs to make that one. Missed the start. Is Steph playing very well, or has Musetti started slowly? Both. For sure, both. Steph is playing very well, and Musetti looking pretty sluggish, honestly. But I've been more, unlike the last match, I've been slightly more impressed by Steph than disappointed by Lorenzo. Like Steph has genuinely started very well. You can't miss that though, Musetti. 30-40. I mean, the crowd got a great match in Feast and Alcaraz, but since then it's been like all the hype and goodness has been in that match. These couple of matches have been pretty lackluster so far. Can't miss that forehand. The backhand of the point before wasn't great either. I'm starting to change my mind, Matt, about what I said. It just depends on how Musetti plays this point. Backhand, forehand to Musetti, big. Backhand to Steph, goes for a shot down the line, missed in the net. Deuce. Kind of a heat check from Tsitsipas. Didn't go. I feel like he didn't have to go for that, honestly, but Musetti was trying to take control. Tsitsipas was trying to regain his ability to dictate there. Forehand cross court, forehand shank of Musetti. It's another break point for Steph. Yeah, it's a mix of both, Matt. Return's going to go long from Steph, questioning the call on the serve, but it just hit its mark. I mean, it was really pretty far in too. So I don't really know what Tsitsipas was looking at. Advantage to Musetti. Some good serving from him. Starting to get out of trouble. Back at the line, trying to get a very important game here. Back in return flats, a bad forehand shot. Just awkward and not getting it to go. Musetti. Deuce. Crowd not getting a lot. The Italian fans not getting a lot to cheer about so far. Not nothing, but not way too much. It's got to get out of this game. That forehand is not turned on yet. That serve not great either. Missed the first. Has to hit a second one. Tsitsipas is ready to pounce. Like a predator waiting on the other side trying to pounce on its prey. Back in, inside out, forehand of Steph. Goes to the forehand of Musetti. Backhand. It's a good one from Steph. Runs route, hits a forehand. Inside out to the back of Musetti. Hitting forehands on that ad side, now hits a backhand. Tsitsipas drop shot. That is a fantastic shot from Steph. Playing some of his best tennis in a long time. And don't you know we're back in Monte Carlo? Advantage to Steph. Very strong start from him. No doubt about it. Don't get it twisted. Musetti hasn't started off very strong, but Tsitsipas is very clearly doing what he needs to do on his side. Kick serve back into Tsitsipas. Up high. Drop shot. Musetti gutsy. Tsitsipas gets there. Lob. Backhand smash. Musetti slice. Forehand. That's going to go out. What a point. Musetti gutsy to play the dropper. Tsitsipas actually showing good foot speed. Musetti also gutsy to play the lob. And yeah, the backhand smash just didn't have enough angle on it and really allowed Musetti to step in and take that break point and save it. Can't overestimate how important this game is. Backhand into the net. Advantage Musetti. Just for his confidence for the rest of this match, Musetti, like, you know? By the way, we're at 3-0, but this match is already half the length of the last one. With half of the games going to deuce. But, I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's just the last match was just basically, we're just pretending it happened. Forehand is going way from Musetti. I don't know why. Just neutral shots missed out. Starting to pick up where Dimitrov left off with that forehand. Forehand Musetti goes to the forehand a step. That's better forehand hitting. Advantage Musetti. He's looking for a first serve here. Wow, Demonor last 6 sets at Monte Carlo 6-0, 6-3, 6-2, 6-2, 6-0, 6-0. That's crazy. He's lost 7 games in his last 6 sets. under the radar. Forehand, half volley. Musetti pass from Steph. Gets it to go. Big shot down the line. Deuce. Yeah, I didn't love that pickup half volley from Musetti. I mean, if he's playing a player that's not on fire like Tsitsipas is early, it might be good enough. But I don't know. It's just too much like action on the ball. Like if he hit it shorter in the court, maybe it would have been tougher for Tsitsipas to get to. What a shot cross court. Tsitsipas's game is on fire. Like I know Musetti has hit some pretty disappointing neutral unforced errors, but Tsitsipas has been on fire from point one. I'm sorry. Like Tsitsipas is doing everything he needs to do. Advantage to Steph. Backhand goes up to the forehand of Musetti. Backhand, it's going to be a shank. The infamous backhand shank from Tsitsipas goes into the crowd for a lucky fan to not keep because we don't do that in tennis for some reason. Deuce. They have a good story, and that's it. Actually, it's not that good of a story. It would have been a better story if they were able to keep it. The ball that they catch in the crowd, and it's deuce here at 0-3. Musetti serve. Backhand goes to the forehand of Musetti. Backhand cross court. It's the backhand of Musetti. Drop shot. Musetti runs in. Slice down the line is very good. Like I said, I really mean it when I say that I really genuinely rate Musetti as one of the fastest guys we've seen this entire century. Like Gael Monfils, Prime Rafa, Prime Fed, just in terms of sprints, Demonor. Musetti's right up there. Like he might be next batch of players that I name. Like Djokovic is obviously also very quick, but like Musetti would be right up there for next like batch of players that I name. Forehand big, Musetti gets a game. That is a massive one. Saves a few break points as well. Here we go. Hoping for this match pick up right here, right now. Needed that one. Needed that one. 3-1. I'm excited that we're not seeing a double bagel. That's what's going on in my mind. Yes. Read my mind. That is what my mind is. That's what I'm screaming as well on the inside. I'm screaming it right now. You guys would say, don't scream into the mic. You're being way too loud. Forehand big down the line. Love 15. Yes. Love 15. Big shot. Tsitsipas got to keep up the pressure. That approach was not good enough. Bit of a gimme. Approaching down the line is much easier than approaching cross, and especially if you're doing it to the forehand. I know Musetti's hit a few bad ones, but giving him lots of space. Backhand cross court goes to the backhand of Steph. Very central and pretty soft. Musetti goes for the finishing shot line, and he just didn't really have enough space to hit that. It felt like he was forcing a little bit with the one handed down the line for a finish. 15 all. It's got to be patient. The problem is that Tsitsipas is the king of knowing when to step up. Like he's able to build out the points so well. Like even what a shot from Musetti. The pace he got on that out of nowhere was impressive. 15-30. Impressive flick the wrist. Took a risk. Paid off. Tsitsipas coming to net a lot. With half and half success. Winning some, losing some. Tsitsipas could be leading Musetti right back into the hunt. Musetti doing what he needs to do on his side at this point. Guys, don't forget to subscribe Quality Shot Tennis if you are new to the channel. 15-30. 2 lets in a row for Steph. We're still at 15-30. Forehand big inside out from Steph. Punishes it. Serve down T is a good one. Musetti way back behind the baseline to return. Forehand inside out. Musetti gets it with the lob. Smash. Tsitsipas. In my opinion, the greatest overhead on tour. Tsitsipas puts it away. There's some shots I feel like players like. I don't know. It would be fun to make a list of most underrated player for every single shot in the book. Like I think Tsitsipas has the greatest overhead on tour. I think Casper Ruud is a contender for best lob on tour, maybe behind Novak and Carlos. Maybe now actually, I think like Piatho is one of the best at vertical movement up and down the court and retrieving drop shots. Like it would be fun to make a list of like players who I think have like underrated shots. That's one of them. Anthony, congrats, double bagel. Thank you very much. It was hard work. 45 minutes over Grigor, never easy, but we get it done. Aussie, oi, oi, oi. You know how it is. I could have went with the bit fully and did an Aussie accent, but I decided that would be the worst idea I had. 4-1 for Steph, who is using the full court very well with drop shots, net play. And the new frame, the new racket is helping him tremendously. Musetti grimacing as well, which is not a good sign. I see ran to that drop shot and was not able to get it up. All right, 1-4. We're seeing higher level though from Lorenzo. I feel like the set is not over, and certainly the match is not over. Gotta say, love Steph skip by the way, looking good. That's a Masters winning kit. Musetti misses that forehand inside out, left 15. I also say that because he's worn the same thing every year. I think he's won Monte Carlo. Actually, I think last year he wore black. I remember he's worn like almost the same thing Monte Carlo before and won it. That's just off the top of my head. I don't remember for sure. It's another forehand out from Musetti, left 30. He's got to get that forehand working. Which is, thank you, thank you, Captain Obvious, but he needs that forehand to not be missing easy shots. So another forehand, even that one hits the net. Forehand, oh, miracle from Musetti, a save. The hands of a wizard, the talent of one of the more talented young guys coming up. That was a miraculous shot that I didn't even particularly think was that possible. Right off his toes. Some ridiculous hand skills. Stops the ball in his tracks and saves a point that should have been his, but I guess unlucky net cord. Tsitsipas doing so well to just Tsitsipas's footwork on clay along with the him hitting the forehand about as well as ever is such a lethal strategy. To me, he's looking not fully dissimilar from how he looked the best that I've ever seen him play when he was up 2-0 on Novak at the French. Backhand goes to the forehand of Musetti. That's forehand in the net from Steph. 30-40. Steph looking for the cushion break here. Serve from the Italian. One more to save. Kick serve goes to the backhand of Steph. Great deep return from the backhand. That was the right shot from Steph, but just overcooked it. Deuce. Forehand inside out. Right shot, but just overcooked it. Musetti did well to retrieve that deep return. Tsitsipas maybe just tiny bit rushed it. Maybe got excited almost. Hit that same shot for a winner a couple times. That's a backhand beauty from Musetti. Flattens it out like a la Dominic Thiem, or maybe even a little bit of a Stan Wawrinka or Richard Gasquet. But a little bit reminds me of Dominic Thiem, honestly. Great shot. Doesn't always mind hitting that backhand a little bit over his shoulder and flattening it out. Kind of like Thiem. Forehand misses it from Musetti, trying to dig out of another close service game. Deuce. How's it going, Maynor? Good to see you. Who do you have winning this one? Let me know, Maynor. Points played on serve, 34 for Musetti, 19 for Tsitsipas. Musetti getting a lot of serve practice. Good for him. Exactly the plan. Forehand inside out. Drops. That's a terrible shot from Musetti. I'm not going to mince words there. That was just a really bad shot. I don't think he should have went for a drop shot. Not the worst idea in the world, but the way he hit it, it was never going to work. Also, hitting it cross court, that's the side Tsitsipas was standing on, and it was going to give him a lot of time, even if it went in, which honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of why he hit it out, because he was nervous that he was going for it and that Tsitsipas was going to get there. Tsitsipas hitting that one-handed backhand pretty darn well, too. I'm talking about the forehand, but a lot. But that backhand is killer, too, as he hits a backhand return that doesn't count for anything. Oh, lucky net core. Musetti can't get there. That's all luck for Steph. As he posts up an apology, 5-1. This set looks over. That looks all but over. I don't think I don't think the match has been as, one-sided so far as we saw in Dimi versus Dimi, Dimonor versus Dimitrov, but definitely it doesn't look like Musetti's at 100%. Definitely more close to it than Dimitrov. His forehand, a few too many unforced errors. Musetti going for broke with that defensive shot off the Tsitsipas overhead. He really had so much time on it. I reckon he didn't need to even do all that. That could have been a good chance to get the crowd back involved. But anyway, I mean, almost did, I guess. Caught a good swing on it, but the way he hit it was just a little bit too difficult. I have no idea, dude. I have no idea, Maynor, honestly. How's it going, Andrea? What do you think about Dimitrov catastrophic defeat? I am a little bit confused. I thought it was going to be close. I think that Dimitrov, I think it was a mix of Dimitrov had his worst day in the office ever, and he was hella injured. I think Dimitriev's wasn't saying something. I think he was far from his 100%. Um, I think maybe he was a bit tired. He's been dealing with some injury stuff every now and again. So I think it was a mix of those two things. Also, Demon War is not an easy guy to play. He doesn't give you any room to breathe. But I think it's those things. But very shocking. I don't know outside of that what to say. But Demon War is playing well. Like he's lost 7 games in his last 6 sets. Demon War. If you want to hear an interesting stat for him. So that's what, like an average of like 1.1 games lost a set or something. Pretty outrageous. 30 all. Backhand of Musetti is pretty short. Attacked forehand. Musetti can't get that forehand to go. Even that one, you're expecting him to get it at least back in play. I mean, it's a tough shot, but you got to make that back in play if you're Musetti and you have those defensive skills. So that's not boding well for Musetti's chances. He's hitting a little bit too short early on. Tsitsipas is playing fantastic. Yeah, not boding well for Musetti's chances here. Step point for Steph. Forehand goes to forehand of Tsitsipas. Drop shot is a good shot. Deuce. Musetti got to figure something out real quick. Mix it up. Mix up the play. Anthony picking the beatdowns today. No, I know, Sean. I was just like, yeah, if Feast versus Alcaraz didn't start at 6 in the morning, maybe I would have chosen that one too. But unfortunately, I was saying earlier, all of the goodness of the Feast Alcaraz matches, all of the goodness of the matches today was placed into Feast Alcaraz. We haven't had a very close contest between these two. I mean, obviously, Demonor and Tsitsipas are playing well, but I mean, come on now. A break point for Musetti out of nowhere. Or at least some momentum potentially going into the second set. Yeah, one break back. First break point in the match for Musetti. Tsitsipas has had he's had 9. What the hell? He's had 9 and converted on 2. For having just completed 6 games, that's pretty ridiculous. Good serve from Steph. Swinging volley. That's going to be too good. Serve was very close. Musetti taking another peek at it. I thought it was out, but apparently it was in. The thing about tennis, if it just catches a smidge of the line, it's still good. A lot of deuce games so far. 40 minutes played after just 6 completed games. Backhand slice. Backhand to Musetti. Cross court. Tsitsipas protects the net. Protects the net like he's protecting his home. Gets the set point. A lot of the players really do have a home in Monte Carlo. I've heard it called like the home of tennis, or like the main kind of city for tennis. I think there's an argument to be had. Florida is another big one in the States, but a lot of players live up in Monaco, which is interesting. Including Novak as well, has a home up in Monte Carlo. Backhand into the net from Musetti. 6-1 for Tsitsipas. Yeah, I've definitely inadvertently chosen the beatdown today. No doubt. I think Stefanos Monte Carlo possible. Fair enough. What do you guys think? Is Tsitsipas going to win a big clay title this year, or a big title period? He's looking really good. Like Tsitsipas is looking to me, even though the set was 6-1 and Demonor had 6-0, 6-0, to me, even though Demonor never really had to play his best level, I feel like Tsitsipas is impressing me even more than Demonor did. Like Steph is playing really fantastic. Like some of he's certainly more flashy of a player than Demonor, which kind of makes it hard to be unbiased saying that or objective. But just his footwork moving around to hit the forehand and hitting it inside out and like just the way he's serving, it's just really impressive. I'm pretty impressed. Pretty impressed so far. He's also returning the serve well as well. Made 87% of first serve returns back in play. Although Musetti's no John Isner, but I was going, Max, good to see you. The Carlos and Arthur match earlier was great. I agree. I hope Musetti can win more games in the second set. Yes, I agree, Max. Let's see. Let's see, man. I hope so. I went in with high hopes for this one. It's not met them yet at all. Same thing goes for Dimitrov versus Demonor, but I especially had high hopes for this one. But we'll see. Things can change. Things can change quick. Wimbledon 2023, I think one of the greatest matches of all time. And the first set was 6-1. So you never know. Things can take a turn. Also, just two sets can have absolutely fantastic tennis. We saw that at the Olympics final last year. Two set match, I think that's one of the greatest matches of all time. And definitely the greatest two set match played in our sports history. Name a better match than the Olympics final that was just two sets. Can't find one. What is happening here? Some distraction here. Forehand Musetti hits over to the back end of Steph. Back into Musetti. Goes to the back end of Steph. Forehand Musetti. It's over it. Forehand to Steph. Back end slice Musetti. Cross. Forehand to Musetti. Cross court to the forehand to Tsitsipas. That's in the net. Better forehand hitting from Musetti. I have a good feeling about the second set that it is going to pick up some steam, but I feel like I've had the commentators jinx all day today. Like every time I'm like, hey, we're about to get something good, it's like, nope. Only when I was watching Alcaraz feast, like starting from like midway through the second set to the end, I was like watching. I was like, man, this is only going to get better and better, and then it was. But now that I'm commentating, it's like not that many. The worst shot Tsitsipas has ever hit. Drop shot into the bottom of the net. 40 love. Corsa sounds so cool, dude. Like Italy has the greatest come on of any country. Like Vamos is cool, but Forza is like next level, dude. Like if Sinner and Alcaraz are probably gonna have many battles in the future, but if it's just a battle of who's having the better um better celebrations, it's gonna be Yannick because Forza sounds cool as hell. Tsitsipas goes for broke like his name is Nicolas Basilashvili, 40-15. Back in return winner off the one-hander. Serve Musetti down the tee, back into Tsitsipas. Forehand cross court. Goes to the forehand to Steph. Tsitsipas gets the baseline. Backhand down the line, hits the net, goes in. Maybe saved it. Backhand slice, cross court. Hell of a slice. That's in the net from Steph. 1-0. That slice made it really hard for Steph to run around his backhand, hit the forehand. That's been a very big success in the match so far. 1-0. 1-0, 1-0. What are your thoughts on Novak losing to Tapilo Monte Carlo? Thoughts on Tabilo losing on Novak losing Tabilo in Monte Carlo. Novak didn't show up. It wasn't anywhere near the level that he needs. Tabilo seems to always pick up his level when he plays Novak. Tabilo has not been playing well this year, so that was surprising. Honestly, that he was able to find that high of a level. Other thoughts is Novak is Novak. You know, he is greatness. He's resilient. He's going to find some way to be relevant and get to another final or stuff down the road. But honestly, I don't know if he wins another big title. Father Time never loses, really. He lost in the Olympics final last year. Like, that was Father Time and Alcaraz losing that final. But if Father Time loses, he never really loses for long. And yeah, I think that's kind of the feeling. So I kind of think like this is about kind of like last year when Djokovic lost to Tabilo. I felt like, man, this is a tough time for Novak. Like, Novak played well to get to the Miami final, but he didn't really have to beat, Sinner or Alcaraz or even like Draper or Menzik on the way. Like, I kind of feel like, I don't know. Tsitsipas getting booed by the crowd as he taking a lot of time before the serve here at 15 all. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit worried about Novak's future. Backhand cross score, backhand slice, volley, Musetti with a big reaction, 15-30. The Italian guarding the net with great success. I think I don't like Alcaraz's style of play, but he's the favorite for every single clay tournament he will participate. He's unbeatable on clay. I think that's valid, but man, he's good on clay, but he's mighty good on grass too. You see last year's Wimbledon? This dude loves the natural surfaces. Kind of like this Musetti guy we're watching right now, 15-30. Forehand cross court, Musetti into the ground. Good play from Tsitsipas. Much more muted reaction for the Greek. 30 all. Almost looks like Tsitsipas is breathing a little bit heavy. Might just be me. I don't know why he would be, to be honest. The first set was, it was pretty long actually for a 6-1 set, but it was, it's not terribly close. 40-30 as he hits a forehand screamer down the line very early. Taking on the rise very early. His 10th forehand winner of the match is a whopping number. Big old number. He said he almost takes Tsitsipas' head off with the return. Which he quickly apologizes for. It didn't look particularly on purpose. If that was the Tsitsipas doing that to Musetti, the crowd would be there'd be more than 2 people on the court right now, and I'm not talking about the umpire. There'd be a riot. Oh, big backhand return from Musetti, just like the return Tsitsipas in the last game, but it comes at a more crucial moment. And we have Deuce and Monaco out 0-1. Musetti looking to turn the tides on the clay, on the dirt. Swing of the wand. It's a good one. Off the backhand serve, just misses the mark from Tsitsipas. Second serve to work with for Musetti. One of the biggest points of the match so far, I think, no doubt. Very central serve. Forehand, return his attack. Backhand, Musetti. Goes into the forehand of Tsitsipas, who hits it inside in, down that at side line. Back to the Musetti forehand, and then Tsitsipas shanks a backhand. That backhand, just I don't know why, but it is notoriously prone to shanks. I don't know how else to put it. It's what it is. It is prone to shanking. Okay. Advantage to Tsitsipas. Advantage to Musetti, I should say. Break point. Forehand, inside out. Backhand, that's in the bottom of the net. Good play from Tsitsipas. He's taking risks and playing aggressive in the big points. which is good. Feeling confident. Something that a certain number one seed of this tournament can learn from. I'm not talking about Carlos, even though he should be the number one seed, if not for a guy who's suspended right now. Forehand down the line goes to the back end of Tsitsipas, forehand of Musetti. Inside out to the forehand of Steph. Still very determined to hit forehands anywhere on the court. Forehand of Musetti, good movement, drop shot. Musetti's there, no time, cross court, lob. Tsitsipas can't get it to go. Advantage to Musetti. I have a good feeling about this one right here. Musetti building steady momentum. Tsitsipas hunching over. Some long rallies. Like I said earlier, for 8 games, 53 minutes is pretty lengthy. Pretty lengthy. I mean, 56 minutes means that it's an average of 7 minutes allotted to a game. So just about something like that. I mean, Tsitsipas could have been called for a time violation, but he doesn't get it. Forehand cross court. Kind of happy he wasn't, though. Backhand cross court goes to the forehand of Musetti. Backhand of Tsitsipas goes to the backhand of Musetti. He goes for a big one down the line. Good depth from the Steph backhand. I'd say that in general today. Tsitsipas's backhand having good depth. Tsitsipas very much determined to run around it, but not always like the forehand, but most of the time, pretty good depth off that Tsitsipas backhand. Can't complain way too much. The reason I said I was happy Tsitsipas didn't get time violation is because the umpires often play too like staccato by the rules, like whatever is the rules, whatever is the rule. But sometimes when a big point is about to happen, you might want to just like let the thing play out a little bit. Good eye from Steph to leave that to go long. Advantage Tsitsipas. Feels like 90% of this match has been played during a deuce game. Where can I watch the live without going premium? I don't know. I think does Tennis Channel have it? I don't know where you're watching from. If you're in the States, Tennis Channel might have it. Really don't think Tsitsipas could beat Alcaraz never in his career. Well, then that would be worse than Monfils versus Djokovic, because Tsitsipas and Alcaraz you would think are going to play many more times, like many more times. Backhand down across court goes to the backhand of Steph. Backhand down the line doesn't go for Musetti. He shakes his head 1-1. That was a very important hold for Steph. Big hold for the Greek. It's nice to see Feast reaching quarters, the Masters 1000 so far. I hope he can advance further. Yes, only guy who's made the quarterfinals before turning the age of 21, other than I'm sure maybe you've seen the stat max. You probably have, but some people watching haven't. I'm sure is that along with Rafa, he's the only player to reach the quarterfinals of Indian Wells, Miami, and Monte Carlo before turning the age of 21 in a single year. Forehand into the net, Musetti finding his way too far back behind the baseline. Body language a little bit flat from Musetti is not a great sign. Still just won 2 games, although it doesn't feel like it at all, honestly. Needs to find something here real quick, or else we could have a double bagel followed by a double breadstick. It's a double fault. Love 30, pointing to his head. Maybe saying it's all mental. I don't know. Obviously, a good result for Musetti to get to the final 8, but that's not how he's going to be thinking, and certainly not how he should be thinking. Backhand up high goes to the forehand of Musetti. Down the line misses again. Love 40. That forehand has not been on it today. Yeah, last couple of matches on this court have been pretty flat. Love 43 break points for Steph, winning most of those long deuce games that I've mentioned. Forehand goes into the forehand of Steph down the line. Backhand just gets the corner from Musetti. 15-40. Another break point coming. This would be a big hold from Musetti if he could get it. Big hold from Musetti if he can get it. Musetti needs to get it to that Steph backhand as much as possible. It's very difficult to do so, though. No doubt. But a first serve would help. Doesn't get it. Great serve into the forehand of Steph. Backhand. Cross court to the backhand of Steph. Forehand Musetti. Goes to the forehand of Tsitsipas. That's a better point for Musetti. Definitely a better point for Musetti. Steph arguably leaving a little bit too much space with that return. And then Musetti was able to have the tempo and momentum way in his favor with every single shot struck in that rally. And able to hit a lot of forehands as well. Can't make a first serve. Can catch the ball impressively. That was an impressive catch, but maybe he should be on a baseball field right now, not a tennis court. Second serve. Backhand, short, forehand. Forehand slice, Musetti relying on defense. Lob way up high. This would be a miracle if Musetti can get out of this one. That's on the baseline. Forehand Musetti. Goes to the forehand of Steph. Backhand Musetti. Forehand of Steph again. Tacking it inside out. Forehand of Steph. Forehand of backhand Tsitsipas. Backhand Musetti cross court. Backhand of Steph. That's in the net. And remember that point. Low key reminded me of Sinner against Runa Australian Open earlier this year, which sounds really weird. There was like a 40-shot rally where Sinner had no what's the word? No reason to win the point. And then that was a turning point of that match because it looked like for sure he was going to lose it for a moment. And then he won the tournament. You never know. Crazy things have happened like that. Remember that point. That was an important one. Also, Steph should have put that last shot away too. I don't know why Musetti approached the net the way that he did, but he's got advantage now. An absolute miracle. He's been relying too much on defense, finding his way too far back behind the baseline. Have to give credit to Steph as well for that, but this would be by far, miles, the most important hold of the match so far if Musetti can get it. Serve out wide, back in of Steph. Goes to the forehand of Musetti, inside out, back in of Steph. Slice. Back in of Steph again is a big shot. That's going to go long from Musetti. Deuce. Oh, well, let's just bust back in. Yeah, I feel very sad for Musetti. He can't express his huge talent, but anyway, he's unable to change racket, replace a new coach, to make something new in the practice, to improve strategies, etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, are you that negative about Musetti's trajectory right now? I wouldn't say I'm that negative about it. I think we've only just gotten back to clay court. That's his bread, and the natural surfaces. That's his bread and butter. I mean, hard court has never been his best friend. I think quarterfinal of Monte Carlo is already not a bad result. I'm not feeling that bad about where Musetti's at. Why are you feeling that? Do you wish that is? Do you think that his level deserves to be at a much stronger place than it is right now? Still got time. I mean, he's 21, 22 years old. I think he's 21, right? Alcaraz's age. So he's still got time. In my mind. Advantage to Musetti. Big serve down the tee. Lorenzo Musetti with a momentous hold, to say the least. Remember that point at 30-40. Fights back from love 40. And he played 3 horrifically bad points. And had very flat, negative body language. That point at 30-40 could be an absolute turning point in this match. And then you never know. Remember that point for the context of the tournament, but we'll see if Tsitsipas can keep momentum that he's had. Big ace and roar, love it. I've seen this story before. I've seen this sort of thing play out. Is Tsitsipas sure to win against Musetti? No. I think he will, but no. For sure will win is a silly question anyway in tennis because anything can happen, particularly in tennis. There's no time limit. You have all the time in the world. Literally, you have all the time in the world in a tennis match. That's what's cool about it. Every point pretty much starts exactly the same way, and at any point, things can change. Who will be the king of the unpredictable battlefield? Timeless, unpredictable battlefield. You know, those Italians always got pasta on the brain. I can't stop thinking about Spagbowl. Those are such offensive comments. Jesus Christ. Uh, no comment. 2-1 for 2-1 for Musetti. Gets the hold there. Winner of this one will take on the winner of not the winner. He'll take on Demonor, who was the winner of the match that barely was played between him and Dimitrov. Double bagel. Tsitsipas very much holds Demonor's number. Musetti versus Demonor, I actually don't really know their record. I'll look that up. Tsitsipas very much still the favorite in this one. But you know, big shot from Musetti is a good one. Great one. Musetti Demonor is 1-1. They've never played on clay. They played on grass and on hard. Musetti won on grass in 3 sets. That's a good win. Demonor is good on grass. So is Musetti. And that was in Queens. And then Australian Open, Demonor won in 4 sets. Forehand of Steph, that's in the net. 15-30. Like I said, I've seen the story before. I've seen this story before. You have a point like that at 30-40, you feel like the match is well within your hands, and then suddenly you're like, how am I down 1-4? I've seen that happen dozens of times. Maybe dozens is exaggerating, but I've seen that at least a dozen times. Maybe dozens of I've seen that a lot. Let's just put it that way. At all levels. Things are going one way, and then you never know. Smash Tsitsipas. Oh, wow. That I jinxed him earlier in the match because Steph, I said, has like the greatest overhead, but that would make Djokovic's overhead look like a gem. Wow. Come on. Come on, man. That it hit the throat of his racket. He completely mistimed it. It was a really tough smash to hit. What happened was Steph so much backs himself on that shot. He's so good at timing it usually. But that one was especially tough. I thought he was going to get it because he's usually so good on that shot, but he backed himself a little bit too much. And that was very tough to time. But that was very funny. 15-40. Forehand to Boss. Big. Musetti gets under it. Great get. Forehand. Musetti for a pass. That's in the net. Lorenzo Musetti is back in action. It's 3-1. Who said this was going to be a blowout? Musetti had other ideas. When Tsitsipas had that shot set up for a pass at 30-40 a couple of games ago, you were thinking, man, this looks all but over. That hits the net, and suddenly look at where we are now. 3-1. Tsitsipas slow-mo. Tsitsipas out of it. No, I know. OMG, that was a fantastic game. Yes. I'll take maybe 35% responsibility for my social crimes. More than I expected you to take. Something I never heard by sport commentators about the Musetti's racket. Pro player cannot play with the rubbish like that Broom Pro. I expect from Lorenzo use a head Prestige Pro at least. I think a racket change could do him good. I don't necessarily disagree with you. We've seen a lot of success with players changing rackets lately, and it changes their trajectory. I don't necessarily disagree with you. Players get in the habit of a certain racket they love, and they kind of stick by it. But don't think experimenting is a bad idea. Kick serve back into Steph. Goes up high for and of Musetti. Tsitsipas runs and gets his. A great get. Smash. Tsitsipas there again with the lob. Another great get. Smash. Tsitsipas come back and slice. Good effort from Steph, but Musetti with the momentum. And when a train is coming at you at an onslaught, full speed ahead, it's tough to slow down the brakes. Don't know exactly what that stat means. It says conversion for the set is at 88%. Tour average is 69%. What do you guys know what they mean by conversion? Is that like big point conversion? Forehand down the line, backhand slice of Steph goes to the forehand to Musetti. Big backhand. Musetti defending forehand inside out back. Ooh, I wish he made it. I wish he made it. He had it. That was the kind of shot that like if Musetti made it, he would have made it, but also Adrenaline would have made it. It would have been a team effort between him and Adrenaline. Close. Would have been a team effort with him and Adrenaline. It's a good doubles pairing. Backhand. Well, tables turned quick. Didn't expect it. Drop shot in the net. 30 all. Musetti needs to keep the pressure on. I guess he was trying to. 30 all. It's the way Musetti plays. Likes mixing it up. But we'll see if he can get it right back here. Needs to keep the momentum. This is a big point for that. Would like a first serve. The first strike has been quite good in the last couple games. Needs to keep the pressure on. Forehand to Steph down the middle. Goes to the forehand to Musetti. Hits the net, goes over. Forehand to Steph. Cross score to the forehand to Musetti. That's going to go wide. 3 points in a row for Steph. 30-40. I didn't expect this. Anthony picking the close matches. How the tables turn, Sean. Exactly. I'm starting to back myself with the picking these matches, and it's going to be 6-1, 6-3 Tsitsipas. We'll see. Musetti's got more tricks up his sleeve if he doesn't freaking double fault here. Second serve. That first serve missed by about a mile. Musetti from way outside the tram line instead of forehand return. In control, forehand inside out. Musetti can't get even a racket to touch the ball. 3-2 for Tsitsipas, very much against the crowd's liking, but a very solid game. Looking like a guy that's won this tournament 3 times before. Who knew? Musetti taking too many risky shots. Normally, I love that, but this Tsitsipas, I love to watch him lose even more. Savage. It's just the way Musetti plays, though. Some players play in a certain frequency, and Musetti likes to go for risks. But yeah, I mean, he definitely shouldn't have hit a drop shot, right? 15. What was it? 15 all. Don't need to go for a drop shot. Just hit a regular ball. 30-15 actually drop shot. Don't need to go for it like that. Tsitsipas back in business here. The turning point that I was talking about might not end up being very much of a turning point. That game that Musetti saved 3 break points in the earlier match on Stadium. It was a turning point when Alcaraz saved 3 break points at 5-5 in the second set. Still could be a turning point. You know, Musetti is still up in this set. Let's see what happens. By the way, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join in for more live streams of matches. And then, what's your favorite player in this match? For sure, Musetti. Musetti is my favorite player. Commentary-wise, I stay unbiased, though. But yeah, Musetti's my favorite here. And who's my favorite to win? It's Tsitsipas. That down the line forehand at deuce was ill-advised. Down the line forehand at deuce. Oh, yeah. Okay, no, I think that's fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have to go too big too early, but I kind of agree, especially when you don't have the confidence on that shot. Steph fell asleep earlier when he was left 40 up and didn't capitalize. Yep. Let's go, Peter. I agree with you. We'll see what happens for the rest of the set. Is that Adrian Manarino? Guy that surely looked like him. Forehand to Steph. Goes to the forehand to Musetti inside out. Back into Steph. Forehand to Musetti. Ooh, Tsitsipas nearly hits a great shot down the line, but can't get it to go. 15 all. This would be a big break for Musetti if he can get it. Forehand of Steph. Oh! Come on! Lorenzo Musetti hits one of the passing shots of the tournament. That was a fantastic approach from Steph. I was about to say he's getting such good width on those forehands, but that is a masterclass of the backhand. Roger Federer is awake and well, and he was living dormant in Lorenzo Musetti's racket. Stand up RF, because Tsitsipas couldn't have done much better with the fear hand. 15-30, forehand cross court, goes to forehand to Musetti. That was not even close. 30 all. Almost goes around the net. But that wasn't even close. First shot after serve. That's an interesting stat. I'm going to look at that again. I didn't really catch it. First shot after serve. Go back to that in a minute. 30 all. Big moment. Tsitsipas catching the ball toss again. One guy whistling in the crowd. Forehand of Musetti goes to the back end of Tsitsipas. Forehand Musetti. Side out back into Steph. What a shot down the line. Musetti gets it. Forehand cross court so quick. Forehand again, cross court, forehand down the line, missed it. Musetti with one of the gets of the match. Once again, Tsitsipas hits a great shot. Musetti hits an even better one. Best level of the match so far. Break point for the Italian. I told you this guy was fast. This guy matches Alcaraz in speed sometimes. Like, he is amazing. Or almost matches, maybe. Because Alcaraz is probably the quickest guy that's ever played the game. Time violation for Steph, who is notorious for playing through them. Said he just gets the return forehand, backhand lob. Tsitsipas missed an overhead earlier. Musetti's there for a pass. Oh, it goes in. Musetti with a miracle in Monaco, Monte Carlo quarterfinals has turned around. Musetti up 4-2, and that point earlier in the set was a turning point, no doubt. Musetti playing the best tennis. Tsitsipas shouldn't have let that go. It was close, but it's kind of a wild backhand. Nobody really knew exactly how it was going to land. Musetti went for it a little bit off the overhead return. Tsitsipas should have done more with the overheads, although I'm sure he had that really bad shank one in his head. And it was a pressure moment. I think we're going 3. Fantastic couple games of tennis. Now we're seeing some good stuff. Backhand of Tsitsipas down the line goes to forehand of Musetti. Forehand of Tsitsipas cross court to forehand of Musetti. Backhand of Tsitsipas cross court goes to the backhand of Musetti. Forehand of Tsitsipas. Forehand of Musetti cross court. How's he getting such great shots from shots that other players wouldn't even get to? Carlos Alcaraz, stand up, because you got one of your rivals is kind of stealing your thing. He's kind of doing your thing. 15 left. Got him. Good on you, Lorenzo. Quicker than Demon? No. But he no, not quicker than Demon, but he's one of the fastest. It's crazy to me that in only half a decade or so we're now seeing dudes sitting back so deep on return serve. Nadal and Medi started a trend in pro tennis. I agree with you. Absolutely. Nadal started it, and then Medvedev just shot it out of the roof, right? Shot ESPN highlight reel 100%. And are you kidding me? Great defensive running from Musetti. Yeah, so good. It's unbelievable. Cannot be real. Andre, it's real. Demonor's a rocket on legs. Yeah, that dude can run, eh? Let's go, Lorenzo. Looking to knock out the Monte Carlo champ. I said it earlier. I do stand by it. If anybody beats Carlos in this tournament, I think Musetti might have the best chance of it. Tsitsipas is playing good though. I mean, but Alcaraz has such a winning head-to-head against Steph. I don't think Steph beats him. I mean, he's barely winning sets against Carlos. Even a couple years ago, he played one of his best matches against Carlos in Barcelona. Not the straight sets one, but the other one where it went 3 sets. And he still couldn't finish the job. So I think if somebody beats him, maybe it'll be either Demonor or Musetti, in my opinion. I think Musetti has a better chance. Musetti's beating him in the Hamburg final. All right, see you later, Ghosts. Thanks for joining in. Hopefully catch you in more streams coming up, right? Join in. Yeah, I don't know if it's talked enough about how fast Musetti is. Like, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Grigor back in the day, but Grigor was appreciated a little bit more for his shot making abilities. But Musetti is just so fast. Like, he's unbelievably quick. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's completely and fully far fetched if somebody was to walk up to me and say, like, okay, I don't necessarily agree with this comment, but if somebody was to walk up to me and say, I think Carlos Alcaraz and Lorenzo Musetti are the 2 quickest players we've ever seen in the history of tennis, I wouldn't say that's the craziest comment I've ever heard in my life. I wouldn't necessarily agree with it. Also, I think there are players from the last century that were so quick, like so quick, like Michael Chang was insane. Even players like Bjorn Borg, their movement was like phenomenal, even if it wasn't as flashy or appreciated. Then you have like Prime Fed, Prime Rafa, unbelievable. Monfils, unbelievable. Demonor is not a real person. There are other really quick players. Like Demonor's speed is unreal, but Musetti is really up there. Like in my opinion, I am very high on Musetti being one of the faster guys we've seen in the history of this game. Like he is so fast. Like I think that's how he should be viewed in the zeitgeist. And they tell me the truth. Is Lorenzo a much more entertaining and spectacular player than Yannick or not? Do you agree? Lorenzo is funny and enjoyable to watch, in my opinion, more than Alcaraz also. Ooh, there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to unpack there. Backhand down the line. I'll get into it. Back in, cross court, goes to the back end of Steph down the line, misses it wide. Well, first of all, there's something about Yannick that I personally attract to. I really like aggressive players, and on the men's side particularly, and I really like players that are flashy while also being a little bit or very creative, flashy, talented, while also, or I don't know if centers as creative, but able to improvise at times, without being like utterly like bananas players like Gael Monfils or Fabio Fognini. I think there's something really entertaining about a guy who doesn't look that flashy. 30-15 for Tsitsipas here, by the way. Musetti might serve for the not the match, sorry, for the set in a minute. I think there's something exciting personally about a guy who doesn't look that flashy, but can come up with just some of the most has the talent to come up with some of the most insane shots every now and again. Like within that nature that some may call robotic, which I don't think it's really true for Sinner, but there's the talent is what allows him to be so effective and would play within some incredible margins. But every now and again, Sinner just comes up with a remarkable shot. There's something really exciting to me about that, like the talent holsting him up, and then every now and again it just comes out in a big flash. Like I personally just really attract to a player like that, like Del Potro. I think of somebody like that. I think of Andy Murray, very underrated in his creative and shot making abilities. Even Casper Ruud, not a flashy player at all, but I feel like he's much more creative than people give him credit for. Something for me personally is like a kind of weird type of player that I just really personally attract to a lot. I really love watching players like that. Musetti hits a backhand into the net. Is Musetti more entertaining than Sinner? Yes. In general, yes. That's why Musetti was number 8 on my entertainment value rankings, where I ranked objectively entertaining players, or more what people consider entertaining. And Sinner was number 35 or something. So Musetti is more entertaining than Sinner. I'm not going to sit here and like obvious. Like Musetti is an absolute firehouse of a player. Is he more entertaining than Alcaraz? Alcaraz was my number 1. I don't know. I think somebody could say they enjoy watching Musetti more than Alcaraz. It makes sense because they're not like, Djokovic, where they're a little bit more calculated. If I'm being honest, Djokovic I think is the greatest player of all time. I don't think he's as exciting to watch as Alcaraz. I think there are Djokovic fans who would disagree just because they really like Djokovic for whatever reason. I like Djokovic as well, but if you're being honest, Alcaraz is objectively more entertaining to watch than Djokovic. So Musetti is that kind of a player, very entertaining, flashy. So that would make sense in that way. But I think Alcaraz in general, some of the things he does, he makes that other players wouldn't even try for, and he does it consistently in the biggest moments. And that just makes Alcaraz such an exciting player. What a shot from Musetti with a forehand cross court, starting off this game in high fashion. 30 love for Musetti. Steph has gone back into his shell, has let Misty back into the match. I agree with you, Peter. Good analysis as well. I think it's true. I think you're absolutely right. Step back a little bit. I think that overhead shank didn't help him either, to be honest. Getting a little bit shorter with his backhands as well, I have to say, Steph, and missing a few as well. Musetti hitting some great shots himself. Musetti's level is very high, though, which is what I wanted to see. Musetti doing well. It's going to be a let. Serve is missed. Musetti taking advantage. 3 set points for Musetti. That is how much a point like the one earlier in the match, how much it matters. Because Tsitsipas makes that pass, we could be looking at 6-1, 6-1 right now. Literally, match could be over, dead, gone. If Tsitsipas makes that pass, that is how fast things change. 3 set points. That's how fast things change, man. Never know. Can't play around though. They set points. You think, like I said, things change. Like you got to put the set away. Musetti almost looking like doesn't go for the high percentage shot there. Goes for a flashy finish. Something that I've been when I play tennis, I always like to finish a set or a match on the flashiest way possible, and it is not a good habit to get into. Sometimes you get it and it's awesome, but man, you don't want to lose a match having match point and you just go for a stupid shot. Backhand shank goes behind Tsitsipas. 6-3 for Musetti. 1 set to play. Third set under. All right, 6-3 for Musetti. I will be back. I'm going to take a break. I'll be back for this third set. When I'm back, I'm going to look over the stats for this match so far, and I'll be here until match point. I'm going to be commentating third set. Don't go anywhere. Ethne may consider Lorenzo as a one-hander while Alcaraz is a two-hander. Level of difficulty is much more higher for Lorenzo. You cannot deny it. Um, well, that's a whole nother question. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Level of difficulty, level of difficulty is only one thing. Like, who decides what a level of difficulty is? Like, certainly the way Djokovic plays is the hardest possible way to play, but nobody would say that he's more entertaining to watch than, you know, like somebody else. I'm not sure somebody being flashy or playing risky tennis is harder to play than somebody doing calculated tennis. I would personally say the opposite. I think somebody playing calculated tennis at the highest level consistently is, I don't know. It's like it's hard to say. It's almost impossible to say. It's really kind of impossible to say. Like they're both, if you're winning, you're doing the thing, right? No matter how you play, I guess. Like it's kind of a weird thing to think about who's having the harder game. Also, it's like I still think the one-handed backhand is a very successful shot in the modern game. I'm not one of these guys that thinks it has to be obsolete. So I don't know. I'm kind of, I don't know. I still kind of think that the one-hander can have a great success in the modern game. Like people say that the one-hander can't work, but we just had Federer win 20 slams, and he was the greatest player of all time for a while, and he was returning Andy Roddick serves that were coming at him at 140 miles per hour. We had Stan Wawrinka basically summon the spirit of Rafa Nadal in his bones when he played Djokovic in the final of the 2015 French Open and was whacking one-handed backhand winners all the time, playing some of the greatest tennis and clay court tennis anyone's ever played with a one-handed backhand. We had Dominic Thiem playing phenomenal, and I don't know. To me, it's not clear that the one-handed backhand is more. I mean, I guess it's more difficult, but it's like I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to talk about. Sooner Gorman coaches Tsitsipas the better. Goran coaches Tsitsipas the better. He'll make changes to improve his game. Yep. One-handed back has a beautiful shot, but especially difficult to make in extreme conditions. I don't know. I think so, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I don't think. I'm not gonna sit here and just be like propel the idea that the one-handed backhand, like if somebody does it, it's like, oh, they're at a disadvantage. Like I don't actually know that that's the case personally. I know that's a popular opinion, but I'm not gonna sit here and propel that because I really just don't buy into that yet. Like you see how Dimitrov played against Alcaraz last year in Miami? That was like the best tennis anyone's ever played. he was he was hitting return of serve winners like crazy. He was summoned prime Federer in his bone. Like the one hand backhand can still be very successful in the modern game as far as I see it. But obviously it's it takes much more work maybe to develop it to be at the highest level. But if somebody puts in that work, like Musetti and other players have, I'm not sure about it. 1-0 for Tsitsipas with the hold early. This is going to be a very interesting third set, I reckon. Obviously, people talk about the elongated backswing and the returner serve, especially with the modern rackets and the modern game and the courts. But I don't know, man. I still think it can be a very successful play. I don't think automatically someone's at a disadvantage. Forehand of Musetti, cross score goes to the forehand of Steph. That's in the ground. 15-love. I think the difference is it's easier. Like it's easier at first, but Stan Wawrinka, it's easier until you master it, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It's hard to articulate what I'm trying to say. You might be slightly correct. It might be easier as a whole. Certainly in general, it is easier, I would argue. But if you master it, I don't really like propelling the idea that that like Stan Wawrinka at his best is at a disadvantage compared to anybody else at his best. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's mastered the shot, which takes a lot of work and is harder probably in the modern game, then I'm not going to say they're at a disadvantage. Forehand Musetti goes to the backhand slice of Tsitsipas. Up high, forehand of Musetti. Forehand of Steph, cross court. Forehand of Musetti. Again to the forehand of Steph. Forehand down the line goes to the backhand slice of Steph. Shoring the court. Backhand slice. Forehand of Steph is a big shot cross court. Steph's picking up the fire again. He was on fire in the first set. He's looking to pick up the flames again. Can Musetti keep up his side of the court? This could be an amazing third set, like a really high level shot making affair. I hope that's what we get. I think we're starting to get it. If you approach with the forehand, you got to hit a better approach than that. Again, big serve for Musetti, 30 all. I told y'all this one was going to be good. For a second, I was like, man, do I know anything about tennis? And then I was like, okay. Because I felt it in my bones. I was like, this is going to be a good one. Right as soon as I saw Musetti versus Tsitsipas and Monte Carlo, the way both guys are playing, it's about to be a firecracker. Backhand, that's going to go long. 40-30 for Musetti. Tsitsipas just misses the return. By the way, just my personal opinion. Everybody can have different opinions. I might change my mind in short period. But that's why I like to stay genuine with my thoughts. It's like it'd be pointless if we all just try to blend in with what everybody else is saying. Like I try to think for myself with things. And I'm not convinced yet about the people who master the one-handed backhand being at a inherent disadvantage. That it's inherently more difficult to play. That I've not been convinced of yet. But everybody has their different opinions. And in my opinion, this match is turning out to be a real good one real fast. It's 1-1 in the third. Quarterfinals winner takes on Alex de Minaur in the semifinals. De Minaur is rooting for Lorenzo Musetti. Let's just be honest. He's lost 7 games in his last 6 sets. He is not confident about keeping that up if he sees Tsitsipas in the draw, looking at his head-to-head against Steph. 1-1 against Musetti. It'd be their first meeting on clay. Musetti runs that down. Smash Steph. Very light. Another smash put away. Musetti could have done more with that first return back from the overhead. First retrieval of the overhead. 15 love. I think it's going to go to a third set tiebreak. I'm going to call it early. I think it's going to be a third set tiebreaker, like 8-6 or 9-7. Like a couple years ago, we had Zverev versus Medvedev, third set tiebreaker, Monte Carlo. I think it's going to be that type of drama. Like I think it's going to go down to the freaking wire, dude. Third set tiebreaker, extended tiebreak. I'm calling it early. I get the feeling that both players are going to absolutely like just give their all for this match too. You know what I mean? Like Tsitsipas, obviously why. But Musetti, I feel like he wants to prove himself here, and he's got the crowd cheering him on. This is a big match for his career. People forget about the summer that Lorenzo Musetti had last year. I'd almost compare him to Alex de Minaur early on in his career, or not early on, but up to like 2022, 2023, because de Minaur would have really good, consistent results, but he'd have tough draws, and he'd lose in like round of 16, quarterfinals. Maybe he'd get to a semifinal, but it's like his ranking didn't reflect the level that he was playing at. Like up until last year, like de Minaur had never been past, or a couple of years ago, had never been past number 15 in the world. Like that's kind of like Musetti. Like he really was playing at a top 10 level last summer, hoping that he can kind of get his ranking to reflect that a little bit. How he plays on the natural surfaces, he's still figuring out hard courts a little bit, but clay and grass court, he is fantastic. Such a talent. What an athlete. 40-15, great point there. Some great foot speed from Musetti, showing off his movement on the clay. Second serve from Steph. Back in Musetti goes to the forehand of Tsitsipas. Back in Musetti down the line. Get to the forehand of Tsitsipas. What a shot cross court. Forehand Tsitsipas inside out. Musetti's there. Goes for what would have been the craziest, most unorthodox passing shot of all time, but he misses it long. 2-1 for Steph. What a win for Alcaraz against Svies. That really is a fantastic win. I'm hoping that's a turning point for Alcaraz for the season. I'm looking forward to the rest of the Alcaraz Svies rivalry too. I want to see it on grass, man. How has Archer Feast's results been on grass so far in his career? Is also something I'm curious about. I don't remember how he did at Wimbledon last year, but I think he got to the 4th round. Ben Shelton's doing pretty well despite not playing too much on grass. Yeah, Feast got to the 4th round last year. I think Feast and Shelton got to the 4th round. Yes, Shelton lost to Sinner. Who did Feast lose to? Had a couple of Frenchmen in the 4th round. Pechi Pericard as well lost to Musetti. Man, we're watching himself. Feast lost to Alex de Minaur in 4 sets, so that's a good run. I mean, took out Hurkacz, took out Stricker, who's not easy on grass either. Honestly, Safulin, 5 sets. He's been in a quarterfinal before. Safulin's underrated. Roman Safulin is a hell of a good player. Shout out to Roman Safulin. Alex de Minaur in the 4th round. So that's a good run for Feast. I would love to see Feast versus Alcaraz on grass. I'll manifest a Feast Alcaraz match on grass because I reckon that could be really good. How often do you go live? I'm trying to go live more and more often, but we do constant live streams every sometimes daily for certain points in tournaments. Like for Miami, I went live for the semis and the final, and I'm trying to go live more often. I'm getting a little bit more time, although now we got finals coming up. But listen, we go live quite a bit, so we'll be around. Smash and Tsitsipas put away. Love 15. Stefanos not serving well today. Can't get a first serve in. He's serving okay. But I agree the first serve percentage is not where he wants it to be at. Anthony, you have all the reasons to have personal opinions. I said to you my point of view, but based on statistics, one hand backhand is slowly despairing because it is difficult to adapt to extreme conditions. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I agree with you, like I said, that it is difficult, right? It's more difficult to adapt than the two-handed backhand. And you need an extreme amount of talent to do so at the top level in the modern game. I would agree with that as well. My point is only to the masters of the one-handed backhand that you're at an inherent disadvantage. That is my only real point here. But you have valid points as well. But rather than like statistics, I would point to the players who do have a one-handed backhand having success against things that people would not usually say that they're having success for. Like Dimitrov last year, beating Alcaraz and Zverev back-to-back. Zverev, a huge server, just taking the returns on real early. You would have Tsitsipas beating Sinner in Monte Carlo last year. Like there are different things that I just think are showcases that the one-handed backhand can still have really good success in the modern day. We don't have many examples of players using them, but put prime Roger Federer in today's game, I wonder how he'd do, you know? Like I'm not sure I would look at prime Roger Federer and say he has an inherently more difficult time because he has a one-handed backhand. I'm not positive. Some people would say that. I would not say that yet. Extreme conditions are high and ultra rotating balls on clay are faster and very deep, flatter shots on hard court. Well, yeah, I mean, certainly the high balls, high RPM on clay is certainly the big one, right? And yeah, the fast serves, but I'm still not sure about it. Fast serves on grass and on hard court, but I guess particularly on hard because it doesn't go as low as grass sometimes. Big serve. It just catches line. Musetti. Good placement. Clutch from Lorenzo. Needed that one to deuce. I can't say you're not making valid points as well, Andre, but I would like to. I'm just not convinced yet. Not about the general one hand backhand player, but the player that's mastered that shot, really. Like the player that they're at an inherent disadvantage. Because I mean, you can talk about the things that they're disadvantaged by having the one hand backhand, but then let's talk about things that they have an advantage in. There's loads of things. And that's something we've seen throughout the history of the game, right? The reach on the shot, the way to the ability to perhaps more easier flatten out that shot, and go for a big winner, potentially, particularly down the line. There's so many things that the one-handed backhand is proficient in doing compared to the two-hander. Forehands, a good serve from Lorenzo. And we have two one-handers going at it in the quarterfinals of Monte Carlo. So, and we've had three of the 8 quarterfinalists were one-handers. So, certainly some success. And you're mentioning clay courts, like it's bad for one-handed backhands, but here we go. This is a high bouncing clay court, and we still got success from one-handed backhand players. And Tsitsipas has won this tournament 3 of the last 4 times it's been played. So just going by those statistics, the one-hand backhands have an advantage. Maybe that's a bad drop shot from Musetti. He didn't have to go for that. He knows it too. I was going to Orchid Panda. Good morning. This match going much closer than Demonor versus Dimitrov, which we were watching earlier, and that match we're just pretending it didn't happen because Dimitrov didn't show up. First double bagel he lost in his entire career, for entire professional career, starting from juniors. In a Masters quarterfinal, very rare, 45-minute double bagel. Not really sure what Grigor was doing there. Second serve for Musetti here. Forehand inside out, goes to backhand Musetti. Big moment here. Forehand goes to the backhand of Tsitsipas. Backhand Musetti. Goes to the forehand of Steph. Backhand Musetti. Down the middle to the forehand of Tsitsipas. It's going to go out. 3 saved in this game. Potentially another important couple moments. Tsitsipas could have gone after those forehands more than he did. He had a few, not short balls, but relatively moderately short balls. Shorter than, maybe Musetti would ideally have them. And he didn't really attack after them. This could be another crucial moment, like in that second set when Musetti was down love 40 and came back. It's a big point again. Forehand almost gets away from Musetti. Still in the rally, but that's going to go long. Advantage to Tsitsipas. Can he put this game away and go up a break? Again, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Quality Shot Tennis for more talking tennis. Gonna have a podcast coming out on Monday morning, talking about the Monte Carlo final and the tournament altogether. I might bring the power rankings back. I haven't done that in a minute, but that might be a cool thing to do. Starting with this clay swing. Drop shots, gutsy. Tsitsipas is there. Pass. Musetti gets it. Ooh. Arguably, Steph maybe could have gotten that as a volley. I don't know if he wasn't in position. I want to watch it again. That was gutsy. I mean, he just had this play and it didn't work. Nah, it was a good shot from Musetti. It was too tough. Too tough. He was too close and on the net. Tsitsipas didn't have time to react. It was really good timing for Musetti, pretty much off the rise for a pass. It's Musetti can't get a first serve in either. Both guys are hitting a lot of second serves. And of course, my tennis TV stream crashes. All right, let's get this back. Tennis TV, man, is so dodgy. All right, here we go. Backhand cross court. Wow. That's going to go just out from Tsitsipas. It is advantage to Lorenzo Musetti. Pretty much even here in Monte Carlo. Musetti's boxed. Telling Musetti to calm a little bit. Tsitsipas still looking to create chances. Backhand cross court. Oh, it's a drop shot. He goes for another +1 drop shot and just misses it into the net. I just don't really like the +1 drop shots. I don't think he needs to do it. It's very risky. Potentially a low percentage. 8 minutes and 43 second game. I'm sure we're nearing on 2 hours if we haven't passed it already. Probably have passed it. Not sure exactly what the time is. Hour 54 minutes. Not a terribly long match, particularly for a clay match, but it's something. Some good rallies in the last 45 minutes of this one. That's a forehand, the net from Steph. Advantage Musetti. Kind of the thing that differentiates Stefanos Tsitsipas from the very best of the best is that the problem for Steph is that any moment within the match, he's a little bit up and down, right? The thing about the big three is that they got a lead and they were able to just keep their foot on the gas pretty much and find a way through to win the sets and often win in straight sets, just to keep their foot on the gas. And Steph is a little bit too up and down. He can play great in a match, but then his level can drain down. And so it separates the great players. Tsitsipas is a great player, but it separates them from the GOAT players, right? 2-2. Steph letting Musetti off the hook in this game. I wonder how third set's going to go. 7-6, 8-6, and the tiebreaker for Tsitsipas. I'm calling it. I'm actually that's actually my prediction, but we'll see if anything even close to that happens. That would be kind of like that would remind me of Monte Carlo a couple years ago, quarterfinals. Zverev takes out Sinner 7-5 and a 7-5 in the third set tiebreaker. It would remind me of that for a multitude of reasons. Zverev being very good on clay in Masters 1000s, and at the time, Sinner was losing a lot of close battles. Like he kept getting close against top players, but losing. That was just another heartbreaker for Sinner. That would be kind of similar to Musetti. He's had so many matches like this where he's gotten close, but in a lot of them, not all of them, but in a lot of them, he's not been able to get it done. But we'll see. I reckon Tsitsipas' confidence in Monte Carlo is pretty high. We'll see who's able to take it, though. Musetti is 4 games away from knocking him out. 2-2, 15 all even. Second serve. Musetti runs about a mile to hit a forehand on the return. Backhand now, Musetti cross court to the backhand of Steph. Backhand Musetti. Goes up high to the backhand of Steph. Forehand to Musetti. It's the backhand of Steph down the line. Forehand to Musetti. That's in the net. Good play from Steph. 30-15. Good depth. Good depth of shot. How many break points? Come on, Steph. Yeah, I think that's fair. I wonder how the Stuttgart tournament is going to go with the ladies. I haven't been keeping up with WTA enough, man. Like I don't know. I need to look into it. I don't know how much you got where I got muted, but I also don't know why that happened. But but I was saying that Tsitsipas, I feel like often his level doesn't match his confidence, and it's quite unusual. And that in finals, that's why I feel like he's often losing the big matches because it feels like he can be playing really well, but he's just not able to finish it off sometimes. Glad to be back. Glad to be back with you guys. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. That's happened. I think that was like the second time in the stream. I'm trying to figure out why. I really don't know. I don't know if it's the browser figure like messing up. I'm gonna assume it's not because I don't want to assume it is and then just not fix the problem. Anyway, this is starting to meet expectations, which I'm happy about for me. My expectations. Didn't really hear anybody else being as excited about as me, but I was very excited about this one. Backhand into the net, 15 love for Musetti. 2-3. 30 love Musetti. I really have a feeling about this one that this is going to go down to the wire. I really think part of it is, I mean, I'm just going into like, I really think Musetti is coming into this one being like, man, I want to prove something here. And also, he's 0-5 against Steph, but all of their matches have been very close. Like, I just imagine that he'd be highly, highly motivated to not lose another one, you know? Also, it's a good opportunity. I mean, Demonor waiting in the semifinals. I don't know. Has Musetti even made it to the semifinal of a Masters 1000? I actually don't know. I kind of don't think so. If he has, he's only done it probably once. He's not made it to a final. Demonor is a great opportunity in the final. And then you never know. He could win the whole thing. It's a great draw. And he has not been to the semifinal of a Masters 1000. He's been to the semifinal of Wimbledon. Hasn't been to the semifinal of a Masters 1000. Serve as a let here. 2 hours and 2 minutes played. Getting down to the wire here in Monaco. Some great level and shot making midway through that second set. Both guys definitely not serving to the extent that they want to. I was going to go look over match stats. And I forgot to do that. So let me do that after this game. Forehand inside out goes to backhand of Steph. Forehand down the line, backhand Musetti goes to the backhand of Steph. It's a good backhand. It's a better drop shot. Musetti finally finding it a little bit. 40-15. Who did Tsitsipas lose to in 2013? That was a rough period for him, but I don't remember because that is his only loss in Monte Carlo since 2021, right? I don't remember. I don't remember at all, really. Is it Runa? Good hold from Musetti. Crowd loves it. Lost in the quarters. Wow, I forgot about that. Fritz took him out. Fritz beat him 6-2, 6-4. Shout out to Taylor Fritz. Guy to beat Tsitsipas in Monte Carlo this decade so far. Musetti trying to become the second. I mean, we are like almost midway through the decade, so we didn't. Monte Carlo didn't play in 2020, but 2021, 2, and 4. where Tsitsipas is to win. He's 3-1 for winning the title this decade, which is outrageous. Forehand of Musetti way up high, smash Tsitsipas, put away. 15 love. We got an epic in Monaco. Starting to be quite good. I mean, it's been quite good ever since. Backhand cross court goes to the back and a Steph. Back in Musetti down the line goes to the forehand of Steph. Musetti's there. Just hits it long. Shows off Musetti's foot speed. He was even able to get a good swing on that. It's like he's one step ahead of every other player, like in terms of foot speed. Like it's crazy how quickly he gets to every ball. It's like a rabbit on the court. Like the movement of the guys, the young guys coming up is absolutely insane. All of them. Like it is absolutely ridiculous the way that they move. That's a double fault for Tsitsipas. 30-15. Like the movement in tennis is only getting better and better and better and better. And Federer called it at his retirement. The best players are the best movers. It's true. That's what really separates the best from the best. Like the best from the other players. Like one thing is mental game. The other thing is just like movement. Like Alcaraz and Sinner are the greatest movers in the game. And that's why they are two the very best. So big reason as to why they are where they are at. Also, just complete games. Like guys coming up now have just like so many shots perfected. I don't know. I'm excited for the next 10 or 20 years. I think it's definitely going to be a fun era, different from the last. That's a forehand into the net. 30 all. Musetti, much more positive in body language than Steph. Not that Steph is, pulling off, Andre Rublev screaming or, Kyrgios or something, but Musetti's very positive and Tsitsipas looks flat. Let's put it that way. Even if not explosive, he looks flat. Meanwhile, Musetti's energy only building. Serve Steph goes to the forehand of Musetti. Backhand, it's in the net. It's a break point for Lorenzo Musetti. He hasn't had a ton today. They converted on a few, I believe, or at least on one. Obviously, at least on one. In the set, it's his first one. Tsitsipas went 0 for 4. That was a big moment earlier in the set. Tsitsipas going to regret the 1-2 game earlier in this set. He's going to regret the game early at the last set as well, especially that. That was a turning point. Emphasis on point. That is a double fault. Stefanos Tsitsipas, what are you doing? Musetti has picked up steam, and Tsitsipas has taken his foot off the gas pedal. 4-3. Stop beating himself in this match, yes. Nice to see Musetti reaching the other quarters of Masters 1000. Yep, his third. It's nice to see Musetti defeating Sasha twice. Yep, I agree with both those things. But he's trying to beat Stefanos Tsitsipas for the first time in his career, 0-5, trying to make it 1-5. Gotten close on a multitude of occasions. to take on one of the most underrated players of this decade, Alex Demonor, in the semifinals. Musetti. People are looking at Alcaraz like he's the big title contender, but I would not take a look past Musetti if he wins this year. Musetti's beaten Alcaraz in a final on clay. He's one of the very few who's beaten Alcaraz in a final. Period. Off the top of my head, I think it's Djokovic, Nori, Sinner, and Musetti. I believe Sinner and Umag, Nori in Rio, Musetti in Hamburg, Djokovic at the Olympics. I believe that's it. All of those on clay. Alcaraz has rarely lost any other finals. Period. Cincinnati. There aren't very many more, if any. Those might be all the finals Alcaraz has ever lost. Backhand. It's the baseline. Tsitsipas runs to that one for a lob. That goes just long. 30 love. Yeah, Tsitsipas definitely beating himself in this match. I would agree with those assessments. I mean, Musetti's picked up his level, but he hasn't had to do anything crazy. It's Tsitsipas who's really backed off. It's discouraging. He was down a break in the third set against Sinner last year in the semis. He'll need a similar comeback here. Obviously, notable match with that line call drama, which was deserved to be talked about, unlike the French Open final, but we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. Forehand inside out is big. Musetti definitely picked it up, though. Like, Musetti is playing great tennis. But he hasn't been tested that much in this third set. Tsitsipas has won the last few games in this third set and the last couple games of the second set. He hasn't been tested like crazy, but man, have the tables turned. And it all comes down to that 30-40 point. I think 0-1 second set. I said it right after that point happened. Like, I've seen the story play out. 5-3. I've seen a player have pretty much the match on their racket. They miss an easy shot. Good defense from one player. Suddenly the tables turn, you get a good hold, and suddenly things just can fall apart at the seams. You feel like you have the match won, it's in your hands, and suddenly the other player is playing amazing. You're like, I don't know what's going on. Tsitsipas already at the line at 3-5. Can Tsitsipas break back? Honestly, I don't think the match is necessarily over. We'll see what happens. Tsitsipas, by the way, has had great comebacks in Monte Carlo as well. I remember Schwartzman won 10 games in a row, was up 4-0, double break. And then he lost 6 games in a row in the third set, quarterfinals Monte Carlo a few years ago. Tsitsipas needs to remember that one real quick. That is ridiculous. Musetti hits the second greatest shot of the tournament. He's not going to beat that Alcaraz tweener, but that one was the second greatest shot I've seen this tournament. That was ridiculous. Lorenzo Musetti playing off pure adrenaline. What a get and what a shot. You only see a shot like that every so often. Top tier, top 10. This guy's coming for it. 3 points away from the win over the 3 times Monte Carlo champion. Where is he getting it done? Take a guess. 3 points away for the Italian. Kick serve, backhand Musetti. Goes to the backhand. Tsitsipas going to go long. Love 30. Tsitsipas beating himself. I don't know why he's started to back up so much, back behind the baseline. He's hitting errors. He's rushing. He's playing the wrong shots. Even that overhead shank earlier. Like, Musetti's won 14 of the last 17 points, and Tsitsipas completely escaped his momentum that he had early on in the match. Musetti forehand to Tsitsipas forehand, backhand big. Tsitsipas there at the volley, forehand. Oh, Musetti got a little bit greedy. Not really, but he wanted to hit another shot even better. 15-30. Tsitsipas very ridiculous. I think that's valid. I think it's valid. Forza Lorenzo. Steph has made one first serve in the set. Shocking from a pro. That is ridiculous. Is that right? Jesus Christ. That's insane. He's definitely not made many. Is that the actual stat? Misses another one. Hold up. Hold up. Jesus Christ. Barely making first serves in. 30 all stuff gets there. I almost was ready to buy it. He's barely made any. I haven't really been tracking him very much, but I know he's barely made any. Forehand the net from Mustetti, 30 all. For me, Tsitsipas wins this match. Oh, like you would like Tsitsipas to win this match? I think that's what you're trying to say. Yeah, he's not playing well at all in the latter stages. He started off the match very good, but I keep going back to it, but I think it's deserved. That game early on the second set, need to convert one of those 3 break points all day. He had 3 break points early on in the game earlier this set. Musetti goes for too much there. They need to go that big. That was a 1 in 10 shot. Didn't need to go for that at 30 all. I mean, suddenly Musetti can feel like he has the match won. He doesn't. 40-30 Tsitsipas. Welcome to tennis. Serve Steph down the tee. Forehand way up high. Forehand to Steph. Back into Musetti up high for an overhead. Yeah, Tsitsipas goes for it. He didn't do that earlier, and that to me that was a sign of a lack of confidence. Tsitsipas said, let's go for it. That I think helped Musetti break Steph, if I remember correctly, last set. So that was a big moment there. Umpire asking for the crowd to be silent during the points, I believe. 5-4 Musetti is about to serve for the third. You support Tsitsipas. I support tennis. I'm not. I'm not here to. In my head, I'm supporting different players. I'm not here to support anybody, dude. I'm here to. I'm here to enhance the match, give my insights, talk to other people, and make friends who also like tennis, and have a good old time commentating and talking about a sport that we love. I'm not here to. I'm not here to be like, yo, this guy A sucks. Let's go, guy B. Obviously, I'm a human freaking being. I'm as big of a tennis fan as anybody. I got people I'm cheering for. Trust me. But I'm not here to. I'm not here to do that. No, you're good. Thanks for joining in, Mohammed, Peter. You trust me. I've got people I'm rooting against. I got people I'm rooting for. Trust me, man. That's the natural way of things. But I'm not. I'm not here with an agenda. At least for the most part, right? Everybody's got some agenda. I guess I have an agenda for one-handed backends, okay, but both these guys have a one-handed backend, so we're good. We're good for now. But next round, you never know. I'm coming for you, Demon Or. I might be rooting against you. I'm joking. Nothing against Stefanos, but I want to avoid Steph facing Carlos ever again. Valid, very valid, Matthew. I share the sentiment. Steph Musetti has a better chance against Carlos than Steph. That's what I was saying earlier. Musetti has a better chance against Carlos than Steph does, in my opinion. Forehand of Steph goes inside out, goes to the back into Musetti. Forehand of Steph. Again to the back into Musetti. Steph steps in a little bit more. Musetti way behind the baseline. Forehand inside out is going to be too good. Steph, love 15. Steph asking for the crowd. I don't know if he'll get it. A lot of Italian fans, but crowds love an underdog. Crowds want to see more tennis. I said it earlier. The match is not over. I love 30. It looked pretty close, but it still was not over, and I knew it. And it is not yet. I said he can still serve this out, though. Forehand goes to the forehand of Steph. Forehand inside out goes to the back end of Tsitsipas, back end of Musetti. Foreign to Steph down the line. Foreign to Musetti is there. That's in the net. 3 points. 3 points away again. He was 2 points away. He was 2 points away on 3 occasions. 30, 15, 30, and 30 all in the last game. 3 points away here, 15 all. Certainly serving better than Steph in this set. And that's a big thing for him to stay on top of the baseline a little bit more. Definitely that dynamic has shifted a little bit. There's no doubt. Serve for the Italian here. Kick serve for of Steph. It's going to go long, 30-15. Steph is up 5-0 in the set, Ted, but Musetti looking to change things. Like I said earlier, Taylor Fritz, the only guy to beat Tsitsipas at Monte Carlo this decade. Nobody's beaten Tsitsipas in 3 sets. Schwartzman was close. Sinner was close. Players have been close. Musetti looking to get it done. Announce himself yet again to the tennis world. I'm back, and I'm back on a natural surface. That's where I want to be. Backhand goes out. You got to stay calm, though. The match is not over, even at 40-15. I tell you, man, it is not over yet. But Musetti's got 2 match points. Let's see if he can convert. To knock out the defending champion, take on Alex de Minaur. If he wins this point, either Lorenzo Musetti or Alex de Minaur will reach their first big final on a clay court. And one of them will be in the Monte Carlo final. 2 match points here. The match is not over. I just feel it. That Tsitsipas still has a way back. Musetti needs to play well on this first one. Forehand Tsitsipas goes to the back and slice Musetti. Forehand Steph. That's going to go out. Lorenzo Musetti excites the Italian fans in Monaco. Monte Carlo semifinal bound for the first time in the Masters. And for the second time in a big tournament, first time on clay. Lorenzo Musetti should have happened a long time ago because this guy is one of the best around on the dirt. He's in the semifinals, and he'll like his opponent. Alex de Minaur have been playing good tennis, but Musetti will play for a first Masters final against Alex de Minaur. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Watch out for Musetti. This is a contender in the tournament, in my eyes. Started off a little bit sluggish, 6-1. Picked up from there. That point early on. If Tsitsipas wins that point, I think that we would have been done about an hour and a half ago, and the result would have been the opposite way. Sometimes it comes down to 1 point. 0-1, 30-40, whatever it was, when Musetti saved 3 breaks early on in the second set. Also similar early on the third set. Change things around. Tsitsipas needs to serve better. If he wants to be any kind of contender at the big clay tournaments and any tournament later this year, he needs to serve better than that. And when he stays ahead, he needs to keep the momentum going. Hopefully Goran can help him with that. Certainly you'd think Goran can help him with the serve, but thank you guys for joining in. Thank you, Matthew, Mohammed, Andrea. We love Musetti. We love one-handed backhand. Love it. Why is Musetti reacting like he won the title? It's a big moment, Matt. I mean, it's a big moment because he was 0-5 against Steph. He's been struggling since this last summer, and he was doing really well. He's back on the clay. First semifinals of a clay tournament. He's had success in Monte Carlo, but never made the semifinals. He's excited about who he plays in the semis, I'm sure. He's not going to say it out loud, but even though de Minaur is a fantastic player, is playing really well, I'm sure he'd be more excited to see de Minaur than Alcaraz, I think. I mean, it's true. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be excited. The Italian fans cheering him on. I don't hate the celebration. I think there's a reason to be excited. Hope there's an upcoming live stream on Quality Shot Tennis soon. Yeah, I'll be around. I'll be commentating. I appreciate it, Max. Thanks for the support. Hey, Cedric. Got here. Glad to see you. Hey, glad to see you too. Thanks. Thanks, Cedric. I just hope Musetti hasn't played his final today and performs tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's valid too. His girlfriend's crying. Doesn't she realize it's just the semifinal? It's a big moment though, Matt, but I agree with you. I mean, hopefully hopefully he believes that he can take it all the way because he has the talent to, or at least to test Alcaraz, right? So hopefully he can go bigger from here. I agree with you. Yeah, you too. Thank you. You're the best sports commentator ever lived on earth. Your commentary is always a joy. Oh, what a comment. Thank you. Um, that's nice. Thank you. Hopefully you have a good day. This is probably the greatest compliment I've ever received. So I'm kind of finding a hard time to uh, process it, but thank you. I appreciate it. Match stats. Look over that real quick. It did end up being a good match. It wasn't a match of the year contender by any stretch of the imagination, but this number is awful for Steph. 14 for 17. Musetti break point saved. That's crazy, dude. Steph needs to convert on more break points than that. That's ridiculous. I actually broke 3 times, but both of these numbers are not good. 3 for 6, 14 for 17. Winners to errors. I don't think these are accurate, so I'm not even going to comment on that. Steph had way more errors than that in the last 2 sets alone. But yeah, all right. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for joining in. Thank you guys, Max, Cedric, Andrea. Thank you again for the compliment. I'll be back. I'll be back doing a lot more stuff. Matthew, Mohammed. I'm also back on Twitter, so you can follow me there. I've been really sluggish to be on social media, but I'm going to try to be more active. But yeah. All right, cool. All right, 1 semi is hard to call. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can't. I was telling somebody earlier, I can't really. It's hard for me to envision Fokina with a high chance against Carlos. I really, it's hard for me to envision him beating him. But yeah, Demonor versus Musetti. I have Musetti, but we'll see what happens. All right, thank you guys for joining in, Musetti. Tsitsipas certainly not finishing that match at all how he wants to. That serve fell off in the second and the third sets. For 51% first serve percentage. If you just look at the second and third sets by themselves, I'm sure that's lower. Actually, let's go ahead and do that since I'm still live. It just so happens. In the second set, he served actually 64. That's higher than I thought. But set 3, 29. Tsitsipas made 29% first serves in the third set. That is abysmal. Really not strong at all. So the third set, I mean, is just crazy bad numbers for Steph. All right, Musetti, though, did what he needed to do. Played really strong. Some incredible shot making in the second and the third sets at times. He'll need to even up his level against Carlos. No doubt about it. Even against Demonor. But it will be an interesting semifinal. Hard to really know what to expect in that one from today's quarterfinals, but it's going to be a good one. Thank you guys for joining in. I'll see you guys for the next ones. Thanks for joining in, guys.